De todo no se descuide, okay? Breathe.
Don't be careless.
¿Cómo está?
How are you doing? Okay? How do you feel? Good? You're throwing 3 punches, you know that. And you're being last. What's he at? No? Okay, but be careful. Be careful there.
Okay?
Especially in closing the rounds.
Okay? No te desesperes, no pierdas
Don't be
la cabeza,
desperate.
okay? Mira.
Estás entero, estás bien, ya lo sentiste.
You're good. You felt it. You felt the strength.
¿Cómo lo sentiste, amigo?
How'd you feel? Good? Okay.
Well, let's take a look at some of the action in round number 1.
Right here you see Guzman come with a 1-2, followed by a counter left hook from Garcia that lands in the back of the neck. What an awkward place to get caught at.
So we begin round number 2 of the scheduled 10-round featherweight bout between Mikey Garcia and Rafael Guzman. Garcia, according to CompuBox, outlanded Guzman in the round 13-9. Guzman busier, though. He threw 38 more punches.
Like Guzman's jab, Roy. He's landing it from long range against Garcia.
Yeah, I like it. He's landing it from long range, but if you look at it, he's also putting a lot of weight on that front foot when he throws his jab.
Heavy jab?
Yes, and what will happen is, as the fight goes on, Mikey will try to trick him into throwing that jab and counter with a right hand.
The Garcia camp, brother Robert, one of his trainers, said that even in preparation for Miguel Beltran, who pulled out of this fight, Roy, they weren't really training specific. They were just doing their own thing. So it really didn't matter that there's a different opponent because they weren't training specifically for any fighter. They were just trying to get better. Why would they take that? There's a good left hand by Garcia. Then he unloads with the right hand. Good right hand by Garcia after a left hand. Steps in with the right hand again. It's the power of Mikey Garcia.
And there's a cut on the right eye of Guzman now.
And Mikey Garcia is doing that on real pure boxing skill. He's a skillful enough fighter that against a guy with a longer reach and height who can handle himself. Here it is early in the fight, second round, and Garcia's landing clean, hard shots flush on the face.
Roy, is that as Garcia throws a left and then steps in with a right hand again, is that something that does happen during the course of one's career, that in preparation for a fight they don't really go fighter specific and just work on stuff on their own?
Yeah, because in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s case tonight, you have guys that change up sometimes. They don't always fight the same. So it's best to get yourself prepared the best that you can be, and then whatever he brings, you can deal with it, especially if you're a complete fighter. And I think Mikey Garcia is definitely a complete fighter.
Bad cut over the right eye here of Guzman.
Guzman has been cut training on the bridge of his nose and his head, but never has sustained cut to the eye like that. But he's got one here on the right eye in round 2.
I like Garcia's defense. Just keeps that right hand high, the chin tucked, elbows in.
I like his patience. He has a lot of patience. He didn't go out in the first round and just do anything just to land a punch. He took his time, waited till the openings came, and then he took advantage of them.
End of round number 2, a very good round for Mikey Garcia.
Beautiful work. Sí, con esa distancia.
Este es suyo.
Bien, mijo.
Good, son. How are you feeling? Good?
Good. Te dije desde el otro round, sube la
Son, I
mano
told you,
derecha.
from the last
Si la
round,
tiras,
keep
si
your
la
hand,
recoges,
your
el
right
brazo
hand
te va a
up.
estar agarrando.
If you throw, you bring it back, he's going to catch you.
Hay que darle y regresar esa mano y clavar bien
You
la
got to bring it
quijada.
back and work,
Nada, no pasa nada.
work that shot
Dale.
to the cheek. You're good? Okay, I'm okay.
Hay que llavearlo, baja un
You've
poquito
got to
más la
jab him.
rodilla, estás muy arriba.
And bring your
entonces te está
knees
agarrando
down.
por
Bend your
arriba.
knees. He's catching you over the top.
All right, let's take a look at a left hook coming up right here to the right eye of Guzman that caused the cut right there. There you go. So you saw the punch, and I confirmed in between rounds here with referee Wayne Hedgepath that the punch did cause the cut. So
Yeah,
it's been ruled a punch.
Yeah, but worse than that left hook was you saw him get hit with the same right hand 2 times in a row right there. That is not a good thing when you're fighting a power puncher like Garcia.
All right, let's check in with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
Okay, Bob, well, I got it all even. I thought Rafael Garcia outworked Rafael Guzman outworked Mikey Garcia in round number 1. But in round number 2, Mikey Garcia started to come with that straight right hand. I mean, do some real damage. Cut Guzman's eye and won that second round big, just like you said. 1-1, 19-19, all even so far.
Roy, you almost get the sense that as Guzman steps in with a combination, Garcia goes into protective mode. That in that second round, Garcia really sort of figured out the angles that he needs against the taller opponent and sort of an awkward guy.
Well, he figured out the distance. That was the main thing, getting the distance on his right hand. He figured out how to use that jab to get close enough and then bring the right hand straight down the pipe.
Although Mikey Garcia is not a blood and guts kind of fighter because he hasn't had to be so far, it's really a pleasure to watch him ply his craft here. Getting the upper hand, not just on athletic talent, but on real pure boxer-puncher skills.
Max, where do you see, Mikey Garcia right now in the landscape of the featherweights?
Watch your ball behind your head. Stop holding.
Guzman, caution for holding.
I think at featherweight, there's one outstanding talent that has separated himself from the pack. And that's, of course, Yuriorkis Gamboa, the Cuban sensation. I think Mikey Garcia already fits in comfortably with everyone else, already.
And he's just 23 years of age, won't turn 24 until December the 15th.
Sausalito upset Juan Manuel Lopez.
There's Garcia digging in with some power.
He found a mark with that right hand now. That's going to be bad for Guzman.
Guzman trying to keep him away with that jab.
That was Guzman's best weapon early, was that long jab, because it kept Mikey off guard and away from him with that straight right hand.
Hey, he threw 40 in the first round in which he had that good round. Even though he only landed 3, Roy, the fact that he was throwing a lot of them worked to his advantage.
It's right. It made it more of a defensive punch.
Speaking of defense, Roy, I've noticed that since...
right hand by Garcia. Right across the chin of Guzman.
Since the first round, Guzman's jab's been much less effective. Might be a moot point now.
10 seconds, 10 seconds.
Right and a left. Guzman trying to fight back. Garcia steps in with a right again. End of round 3.
Get it lower. Bend your knees. Lower a little bit.
Ahí te va, mijo. Está tranquilo.
Let's go, son. Relax.
Haga caso acá, voltea.
Let's turn.
He's got long ribs, so let's work the body shot, right? Okay? When you throw the body, don't drop your right hand. Okay? When you go to the left of the body, don't drop it because he's throwing that hook. Muy bonito trabajo.
Very nice job.
Okay? Breathe. Respirando.
Here we see Garcia starting to line him up with this jab and follow with a straight right hand right on the button. That was one. Then he came back once again right behind the jab with a straight right, bam, right down the pipe. You cannot allow him to land that punch that comfortably over and over again.
And according to CompuBox, Garcia, 22 of 38 as far as the connects. But, the one thing Garcia did in that round that was really nice, Roy, he used his jab. He was 11 of 23 with his jab, according to CompuBox, and then 11 of 15 with his power shots. So the jab really set up the power shots for Garcia.
Yeah, it did. And he started winning the jab battle against a taller guy. You don't often see that, but it always works in his favor when it does.
Left hand by Garcia, counter shot from Guzman.
I was going to ask, Roy, how has he taken the jab away? How has Garcia taken the jab away? Oh!
He's taking away with his own jab. He started jabbing first instead of letting Guzman. See like that? He's jabbing first now. Guzman's not jabbing first. Watch, see right there? Garcia leads with the jab first. Therefore, he's taking Guzman's jab away from him.
Guzman may be a little gun-shy with his own jab because he keeps getting countered, as you mentioned, with right hands.
He can't seem to block the right hand for some reason. No defense at all.
And that's what gave Guzman the success, too, in the first round, was his doubling and tripling up his jab.
Exactly. It kept Garcia off of him some. Now Garcia can get to him at will because he's not jabbing as much.
See, Guzman is a tough guy. Doesn't seem discouraged in spite of the shellacking he's taken the last couple rounds.
Not at all.
And he's not simply throwing caution to the wind. He's still trying to execute a game plan. It's just he's being outskilled.
Well, you know he's one tough guy, as we told you the story about. Walked right into a shot there from Garcia.
The same right hand.
5, 6.
Oh, and he's not getting up. Just over a minute to go in the fourth. Wayne Hedgepath stops it.
That was a complete and very impressive performance from Mikey Garcia.
He landed 10 of 13 power shots in that fourth round and finishes off Guzman and gets knockout number 22 and win number 26.
Let a guy consistently hit you over and over again with his best punch, that's usually going to happen.
Well, let's take a look at how Mikey Garcia finished him off in round number 4.
When he came out with his jab, like we said earlier, he led with the jab, followed right behind with the right hand. He's been doing it all night for the last 3 or 4 rounds at least, and eventually it was going to get to him.
Another look at it.
Straight right hand, right off the jab, just a basic 1-2, right down the pipe.
Second, fourth round stoppage in Garcia's career. I mean, he got the full shoulder and leverage behind that one, Roy.
He got everything into it because he knew he was going to land it. He's landed it several times before, 2 times back-to-back almost every time, so he knew he was going to land it.
You know, he might be only 23, but you can just see the way he boxes, Roy. He's got a very high boxing IQ. I mean, he breaks down his opponent mentally and physically, leading to the knockout. It's not just brute force.
Well, you got to remember that his brother was a world champion also.
Yeah.